Hi, I'm Chen Jiang. The project we are working on is the Sydney Metro. This is a large public transport project in Australia. By 2030, Sydney will have four metro lines, 46 stations, and 113 kilometers of new metro track. The project is changing the way people travel in Australia large city, connecting the city's north, west, south, and greater west to first dependable train up and go motion service will with four accessible stations. Now, the Sydney Metro has two parts: Sydney Metro Northwest and the Sydney Metro City and the Southwest. And later two addition line has been North Sydney Metro West Sydney Airport and the Sydney Metro West. Well, the project aims to provide metro training to any place across Sydney every 2 minutes. The project will provide an increased competing capacity of 40,000 customers per hour for the creative level of 24,000 customers per hour. The project provides a 60% increase in train service into Sydney CBD from 100 to 200 hours per day due to the better and increased connectivity. There is a projection of an active both in Sydney's economic centre of up to 5 billion per year. The project is a pioneer in encouraging more urban development rather than greenback housing development, lead to infrastructure saving for taxpayer, um, more people to median and high deciding housing service household costs on electricity, gas, water, and transportation, health benefit of sustainable living. This project will enable more customers to walk and cycle on public transport, reducing public health care costs. Well, that's it. Let's move next one.
And on the next,
Hi,
we have
my name
the
is Nehasis Sahu,
finance
and I am
position,
explaining the
where
financial
we
status of
include
Sydney
the
Metro.
assets and
The
liabilities, which are categorized
expenses,
as receivable
excluding
and
losses, which
financial
includes operating
assets,
expenses, under
at
which
fair values,
the categories are personal
cash
service
and
expenses, which
cash
includes
equivalents,
salaries and
from
wages,
the current assets and
superannuations,
non-current
service
assets,
leaves, workers'
and also further
compensation
the
insurance,
liabilities of Sydney
expenses,
Metro,
taxes,
with
and
current
other operating
liabilities,
expenses,
which
which
includes
includes
stable
audit
borrowings and
expenses,
provisions,
telecommunication
and non-current
expenses, electricity,
liabilities
gas, and water
with the
expenses,
same
in case the metro
borrowings
is
provisions
leasing.
are stated as
So the
per the
leasing
report.
charges,
On
then
addition
the
to it, there is
IT
equity,
and insurance
which is
expenses, legal service
accumulated funds.
expenses,
So
property
this includes the
expenses,
overall financial
and
status
major
of
project
Sydney Metro.
expenses, which includes the investment made in the mega Sydney project. There are then depreciation and amortization expenses, which includes the expenses on infrastructure for building the rail system, buildings, plants, and equipment, and further the grants and subsidies that are made by the government. And the finance cost includes the interest on expense on lease liabilities, then unwinding of discounts on liabilities. Uh, so we can see the total revenue of 4,692,684,000 and the net result is 3,920,372, and including the other incomes, it comes to 4,206,782.
Moving on to the benefits of Sydney Metro project. First one is the consumer benefits. The consumers are highly enhanced by the level of comfort they feel while traveling in the metro because a lot of technological advances is involved in the project, which also provides us the ease of connectivity in the public transport. It also has a separate option called priority seating, which enables the consumers to make a booking before they start their trip, especially for the people with disability or with the mobility needs. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's an ease of connectivity. So every 4 minutes, the metro visits the station. So there, people needn't wait for a long time, which is major benefit of Sydney Metro project. It also transmits nearly twice as many as people in Nhar. For example, roughly around 40,000 people in Nhar because of the connectivity ease. Moving on to the benefits of metro operators, they have free and discounted travel, and also they have a stable employment status. So the non-senior service employers receive a maximum of 4 weeks of paid leave per year. So since they work in the metro operators, they have a stable employment with a range of career growth. Also, they have an option to become as a bus driver and manager, maintenance manager, for example. Moving on to the intangible benefits. So first comes the network resilience. The network connects from the north of Sydney with CBD to southwest, providing a lot of access to the people around these areas. And then the business case for the project involves a lot of benefits to the people who are actually connected from the north of Sydney with CBD to southwest. And then employment opportunities provides 30,000 roughly 30,000 job opportunities for the people, especially for the Western Sydney. This proportion is from the year 2020, and also this provides attractive businesses to the metro. Also, more indirect jobs are created as a result of this. This would also create a multiplier effect that would also stimulate the growth and economy of the project and also the entire New South Wales. Moving on to the business opportunities, this creates a new communities involved and business opportunities for the investors as well. So the Greater Sydney area is expected to benefit from these opportunities, as well as there would be a spurring economic development involved in the Greater Sydney because of this Sydney Metro project.
Of the rail network is increased, which paved the way of continued expansion of the train system. In Sydney, over long-term, in addition, the project will support the protection by the 2036. The number of the train passenger will increase from 168,000 to 288,000 journey during the 1 hour AM peak. The estimate based on the fact that the number of railway passenger is to extend it to peak at 1 hour. In addition to this, it increased the entire capacity of the rail network that is above the network by 60%. This will be achieved 60 high capacity metro train pass every hour, making it possible for more passengers to carry it. Last but not least, in year 2024, there will be additional 40 train service available thanks for the full completion of the project. This project is increase of 31%. Construction phase peaked at a total of 6,233 new people to its payroll. In addition, by the year of 2036, the corridor will have generated additional $8.562 billion in value annually as a result of an increase in the co-location business and labor as well as the productivity. In addition to this, it encouraged the establishment of 44,245 additional jobs in the corridor by the year of 2036. The decline in the cost of living will result in annually saving between $721 and $1,761 for families in 2036. In transit-oriented project, medium to rising household a lower average energy, gas, and water use profile. In 2036, it projected the value added for Northwest Corridor will be $2,886 million, $453 million for the Northwest Corridor, and Global Sydney having $5,223 besides. Productivity per worker will be $669 for the Northwest Corridor, $452 for Southwest Corridor, and lastly, $381 for Global Sydney. In 2036, there will be a total of 44,245 additional jobs contributed between three major regions: Northwest, Southwest Corridor, and Global Sydney.
Hi everyone, my name is Janil Joshi, and today I will be presenting the cash flow statement for the Sydney Metro project. So cash flow statement is basically a financial statement that summarizes the cash in and cash out for a company or for a particular project. The lines, the cost which depicts on the below side of the timeline is always the cash going out of the project or out of a company, and the cost depicted above the timeline is always the cash in, the cash flow in for a project or a company. So in this case, I'm going to show the diagram. I'm going to explain the diagram for the Sydney Metro project. So in this case, the initial cost which was given by the government, NSW government and the federal government, is $54 billion for the project. And across the timeline, we can see the timeline for the 4 years, 2019, 2021, and 22. The benefits made by the project or the revenue is $34,000 million. So this project is an ongoing project which has 5 phases. One is already developed and the rest 4 are being developed. So there are various expenses such as the maintenance and operational cost, or the rail project cost, or personal expenses for the laborers and the staff. So that is depicted below the timeline, which is the outgoing, the expenses for the project. So the expenses are subtracted from the revenue, and the revenue is generated. Uh, so that's it on my part. Thank you.
Hello, myself Arjun Lamisane. I'm going to present the cost part of the Sydney Metro project evaluation report. There are 2 types of cost. One is tangible cost and another one intangible cost. Under the tangible cost, there are 2 costs: capital expenditure and the operation and maintenance cost. The amount is calculated to be around 54 billion under the category of capital expenditure, which is sponsored by federal government and the New South Wales government. And after that, only the maintenance and operating costs comes. So another cost is intangible cost. These costs are different from social and environmental factors such as noise pollution and acoustic vibration, which are caused by the railway. In addition to those, loss of biodiversity, and and destroying of all the monuments around the railway network. That's it. Now the viability indicators. There are mainly 2 types of project viability indicators we use for this project. One is net present value and another one is benefit cost ratio. The positive value of net present value NPV and the value of BCR greater than 1 or 1 shows that the project will be viable. So we divide the Sydney Metro into 4 parts. As we know that the northwest section is already completed, we don't consider that part. Apart from that, for the city and southwest part, net present value and BCR both are greater than 0, so it's viable. And for the west part, net present value and BCR ratio are also greater than 0 for both, so it's also viable. But for the western Sydney airport part, net present value and the benefit cost ratio BCR is less than 0 for both. So this part is not economically and financially viable. But if you consider all those 4 parts as a single project, then the net present value and benefit cost ratio of the Sydney Metro project comes greater than 1 for both. So the project will be viable if you consider all 4 parts as a single unit.
Moving on to the conclusion, it is evident to bring out to the table that Sydney Metro project does have a lot of benefits to the New South Wales as well as to the wider Australian economy if the Sydney Metro is kept on being operated. So the financial evaluation brings us to a conclusion that Sydney Metro project is worthwhile. With the calculations done, the positive net present value is considered to be 5396 million, with a benefit cost ratio at a discount rate of 7%. It is given as 1.18. So further analysis will be Sydney Metro project should be extended to the entire New South Wales with all network connectivities connecting to the entire stations in Sydney as well as the entire New South Wales. So the net present value that is approximately calculated for the future is, for example, for 60 years will be at a discount rate of 8%. So based upon the economic conditions during that time, the discount rate will differ based upon the economic conditions and the entire Sydney conditions. Also, how the metro project is being carried out, and if it is actually being extended to the entire New South Wales, the discount rate will be applied, and the economic conditions will be considered on table, which will provide the exact net present value during that time. Thank you.